Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Bitter Rivals podcast, episode 68, powered by the Game Entertainment and Media. Today is October the 23rd, and both teams played last night. Leafs and Habs both had games last night. Leafs won, Habs lost. We'll get more into that and some specifics. So let's start with the Habs. Let's go there. It was Dallas matchup, who the Leafs played a couple nights ago. And beat them, the Nick Robertson game. But they've been very, very good, the Dallas.
Yeah, I think they've been...
Jake Ottinger's in net.
Oh, yeah. Well, he can. First of all, he's ridiculous as a goal. He made some ridiculous saves last night. But the Stars are the first team the Habs have faced this year that are really forecheck heavy, like big, physical, like down low. So that was a big challenge, I think, for some of our younger guys.
Yeah, that's fair.
Joe Pavelski fucking ran the show, because of course he did, scored a hat trick. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my dad's got him on his on the fantasy team, Leafs and Bounds there in our league. So that's a late round pickup. That I think, like, that's not Joe Pavelski's first big game of the year. Like, Joe Pavelski's been, like, he's probably a top 10 point getter right now in fantasy.
Probably. The first thing I did once he got 2 goals, I was like, I need to check and make sure whoever I'm playing this week, I think it's Trevor, doesn't have him in fantasy, because that's bad news.
Yeah, bad news bears, for sure.
And then Arber Xhekaj picked up his first NHL goal last night. He had a big week, like a massive week.
Well, let's go. Beat the crap out of Zach Kassian. So
I said, let's run it back to Thursday night. The Habs were playing the Coyotes at home. We beat them 6-2. The Coyotes didn't show up for that game. It was great. We were up 3-0 inside like 7 minutes.
Yeah, they're a university team, so.
Yeah. So Zach Kassian thought he would try and rally the boys with a fight, and he chose Arber Xhekaj, and they went at it, and Arber Xhekaj murdered Zach Kassian at center ice in the Bell Center. He
ripped him around pretty hard, popped his helmet off, right? The whole 9, ragdolled him. It was the whole 9 yards, for sure. It was a little bit... It was demeaning to Zach Kassian, to be completely honest with you. He absolutely fucked his day up. Like, pardon my French, but
my God, like just nobody does that to Zach Kassian. That just doesn't happen.
Well, and I think we've said this before, but let's just emphasize the fact that this dude was working at Costco like 2 years ago.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, so he literally went from working at Costco to fucking beating the shit out of Zach Kassian in 2 years.
Like ragdolling Zach Kassian. Yeah, no, it was wild. Anyway, moving on from that.
I'm still there's still one more thing from the Arizona game, and that's Juraj Slafkovsky scored his first NHL goal.
Yeah, and then put on such a hero display after that. That was pathetic, man. That was pathetic.
I loved it. Loved it.
Such a hero move. Like, I hated that. That was such a bad look. Anyway. Oh my God, have some class.
So what happens is earlier in the sequence, he takes a high hit.
Oh, I saw it, and actually he didn't.
I'm explaining for the viewers. I'm explaining it for the listeners.
Yeah, but he was out last night due to that hit, was he not?
I don't know if it was from that hit or not.
Yeah, it was an upper body injury, so I assumed it was from the hit. But
okay, so Xhekaj in his poster last night accidentally let it slip that it was a wrist injury, so I don't know if it was from that hit or not.
Okay.
But anyway, so he takes
Somebody's
the high hit.
Get that kid in media training.
Oh, he's the fucking best. You gonna tell him he's not good at doing media, Abe?
No. That's why I say it when he's not in front of me, because if I said it to his face, he'd beat the hell out of me. So
exactly.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. So he took the high hit. Xhekaj actually fucking took a really, really big run at the guy, laid him out, which forced the turnover for Slafkovsky's goal, and then they both screamed in Buddy's face after he scored. So I like it.
It was, I thought it was a little bit of a classless kind of pathetic maneuver, but anyway, to each their own. No more time needed to be taken on that particular play. So earlier in the week, also the Toronto Maple Leafs, of course, lost to the Arizona Coyotes. So let's start there when it comes to the Leafs, because man, like, that wasn't a hand pass. I don't know. Like, I'm assuming anybody who's listened to this also watched the game and knows what I'm talking about. That was not a hand pass. I can tell you, like, I can actually tell you multiple reasons as to why that should not have been overturned, like multiple.
Like so let me just as a neutral for that game.
Okay.
I understand why they reviewed it because at first glance it looks like it.
Yes.
You know, the puck's up there. Like I get wanting to review it, absolutely. But after like the second replay, even I'm sitting there going, it's fine. It's totally fine.
So here's the things for me that drive me nuts about that play. First things first. After Morgan Rielly bats it down with his hand, to me, you cannot conclusively say that it doesn't touch the shaft of his stick. To me.
Yeah.
First things first. You cannot conclusively say that. You called it. You didn't call it on the ice, which means you have to have conclusive evidence, right? So that, to me, first of all. Second of all, the rule is written that a player must bat it either in the direction of his teammate, which would have been Mitch Marner, who touched it after, or his team gains some sort of advantage from the play, which I also disagree with because as soon as he bats it down, everybody on the ice has an equal opportunity to that puck. He didn't give his team an advantage with the play of knocking it down. We did end up with the puck, but it wasn't because of an advantage from the hand pass. So as the rule is written, that's not a hand pass. 2, Clayton Keller touches it with his skate blade. You can argue whether or not that's controlled, but he directs it towards the boards with his skate blade. So there, Marner touches it after that also. So there's
that's my thing on that would be that it's absolutely he didn't get possession of it, but he played the puck.
That and the other thing, and it doesn't look like it from the main angle that everybody sees, but if you look at it from the camera that is directly behind Morgan Rielly, to me, it looks like at the same time that it touches Keller's skate blade, it also touches the heel of Morgan Rielly's stick blade, which again would make it not a hand pass. So all of those factors put together, mixed with the fact that it was not called a hand pass on the ice, to me, you cannot conclusively say that it was. You cannot conclusively say it. You just, and the other thing that drives me nuts about it, and you know Tony Richervato, who I work with.
Yeah.
We argued about this for a while. And finally, I actually had him agree with me. And what had him agree with me is, you're telling me that Arizona didn't challenge that? No. No, they didn't. Nobody on the ice thought that was a hand pass. Nobody. The Situation Room is the ones who brought that into existence even. So, if nobody, including the Arizona Coyotes, is saying that is a hand pass, then it's not a fucking hand pass. Like, that's so frustrating because it was and the other thing too, the Situation Room cannot get involved unless it's the last minute of a game. There was 26 seconds left in that game. If it happens 34 seconds earlier, nothing happens. It's a goal. That's bullshit. I'm sorry, that's bullshit. It just is.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know you love to say that the Situation Room is biased against Toronto. Again, I don't think that. I think they're just entirely incompetent.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you.
Overall.
And you know, I'm not saying that the Leafs deserve to win that game because it's Arizona. That should have been 10-0 for Christ's sakes at that point. It's Arizona. They started. Who started for them? I forget his name. Karl Vejmelka. Who, you know what I mean? The Leafs shouldn't have been in that position. That goal should have meant anything anyway. Let's be totally clear here. I am not excusing the Toronto Maple Leafs for their shit performance against the Arizona Coyotes, but that still wasn't a hand pass.
Yeah, both things can be true. Both things can be true.
Exactly. They didn't deserve to win the game, but they still tied the game with 26 seconds left, in my opinion, legally. Right? I don't know. And it's just so frustrating because the same thing happens when we play the Dallas Stars, right? There's a play, it's going the other way now, where they call it goalie interference on the ice. Tyler Seguin clearly makes a push towards Samsonov, pushes him into the net. Samsonov's leg knocks the puck in. They go to review it.
He pushed Marner into Samsonov, didn't he?
It was kind of them both going the same direction. Marner wasn't probably going to be able to stop and not hit Samsonov anyway, but Seguin was there too. And you called it on the ice as goaltender interference. I don't understand. I guess I don't know what conclusive means. I guess I just don't know the definition of the word conclusive.
But here's the thing, Abe, is you could look through hockey Twitter anytime there's any sort of fucking challenge, and nobody knows what the fuck's going on.
It's so frustrating. It really is, because, like I said, it's not like the Leafs deserve to win that game against Arizona, but we're talking a completely different narrative the next day if they do, right? And that's something that is controlled completely by the guys in black and white stripes. That's bullshit. That's not, I don't know. And, they try to make these plays to not affect the outcome of it. You're telling me that's not affecting the outcome of a game? You're telling me that it's fair that the Situation Room has got 35 angles and watching them at fucking 10% speed to see what that's not fair. That's not the spirit of the game at all. I'm sorry, it's not.
Yeah, especially if Arizona doesn't challenge it. If Arizona challenged it, different story. Absolutely, review the fuck out of it.
Exactly. But they didn't.
For the Situation Room, if you see something and be like, yeah, we're just not gonna let that happen, that's a bit of bullshit.
And you could clearly see that the referee on the ice did not want to overturn the call. He came out and he said the Situation Room, and he made it very clear. The Situation Room has overturned this. There was a hand pass on the play, no goal. He made it very clear that it wasn't his decision. And I think that's horseshit.
See, so that's something that it's fucking bitter rivals bingo. I talk about soccer, but the way it works with VAR, I'm literally watching one right now in the Tottenham game. All the VAR does, the video assistant ref, is they bring the ref over and they say, have another look at it. They don't say it's definitely this, it's definitely that.
And that's what it is up until the 62nd point of the third period.
Yeah.
I
don't know why they are like, that makes no sense that they can fucking interfere at that point.
Sorry, I had to vape there. I was getting very, very frustrated.
Yeah. But no, anyway. like I said, I get it that they wanted to review it, and I don't mind looking at it to review it. But if the ref on the ice says, no, it was a good goal, and you can't that's just fucking bullshit.
Anyway, moving on, because that's just going to continue to frustrate me. But so on to the Dallas game. Leafs win 3-2 in overtime. Big win against a hot Dallas team. They didn't start Ottinger, which was a blessing because we really wanted to win that game. It wasn't like last night's game, which I'll get to, but it wasn't things were starting to get a little bit noisy already in Toronto. So,
well, can we talk about Keith's comments quickly before we do this?
Yes, we absolutely can talk about Keith's comments. So basically, and he's right. The difference between the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Arizona Coyotes is the Toronto Maple Leafs have elite players and the Arizona Coyotes do not have elite players. Yeah. Right? That is.
I don't think anyone can argue that.
That is the major difference between those two teams. Not to mention that one franchise is worth billions and one plays in a university arena, but that's not.
If we're just talking the teams, we're just talking the teams.
I just needed to throw that shot in there because it's hilarious. I know. Anyway. Yeah. So he comes out and basically calls out the elite players saying you weren't elite. You need to make a difference and you weren't able to make a difference. And it's true. That's exactly what happened. Now, the next day, for some fucking reason, he comes out and walks those comments back and says that he went and had a meet and greet with the stars on the team and kind of explained to them what he meant. You don't have to do that. You are their superior. You are their coach. You say what you feel and mean what you say. Right? That's
I think it's all right to explain to the players what he means, because I think the media took what he said and ran with it, like they do in Toronto, because it's just what you do.
Well, that's what they do in Montreal. That's what they do in Toronto. Yeah. That's what they do in in other leagues. That's what happens for the Lakers. That's what happens for the Yankees. That's what happened. That's just how.
So I do understand him wanting to sit down with those players and say, this is exactly what I meant by it. It's not what the Toronto Star or the Toronto Sun or this reporter or that reporter is spinning it. This is what I meant. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
But again, the media spins that and goes, oh, now he's walking it back. It's no, he's not walking it back.
It was a little bit of a walk. Let me put it to you this way. When Babcock's a bad example. Let's go Bruce Boudreau. When he comes out and he says something, he doesn't walk it back. When he comes out and he says JT Miller's been shit, it's true. And that's what is happening. So that's what I'm going to say. And he doesn't walk it back. And that's a coach that I think that's a better way of doing things. I think that's a better way of doing things. I'm not a coach, so I don't know. That's why I'm saying
Yeah.
I think. I don't know. I think that's a little bit of a tough situation to put yourself in if you're Sheldon Keefe. And
100%. But I mean, you also don't want to lose the room by just being a total fucking asshole.
no,
So
and
I think
the other thing that you have to remember is he called the team out after losing to Montreal in the opening night. He called that effort unacceptable as well, right? So how many of these bullets can you have in your pocket before you run out? I think is the idea.
Yeah.
Or bullets in your clip, whatever you want to say. Because if you keep firing from the hip, it's just going to fall on deaf ears.
Yeah.
Right? That's I think kind of why he tried to walk it back is because he's like, you're right. I can't lose the room by just being a tick.
Yeah.
So you're right. That's what happened there. Anyway, a couple days off, and then after the so was that a Wednesday night or Thursday night? That was Thursday night. So they had the one game. They played Dallas Thursday. They had the Friday off and played Arizona, Winnipeg last night. Ooh, what a hockey game. That was.
Oh wait, can we go back to the Dallas game? Because Nick Robertson's not going back to BHL, is he?
Yeah, you distracted me talking about Keefe's comments. That's what it
Sorry.
was.
Sorry.
It's okay. So Nick Robertson, yeah, that was a hell of a performance from the kid. First game of the season. He probably should have been on the team to begin with, but he didn't because of cap reasons. He's the only one that's waiver exempt. So that's why he started the season with the Marlies. All signs point towards Kyle Dubas running with this now, though, and leaving him where he is, because he won that game in Dallas. He was playing against his brother. You could see he had some extra jump in his step. He skates like a madman. He's not the fastest, but you could tell he's putting in 100% effort all the time. He's back checking, forechecking, trying to lay hits. He's got an absolute rocket of a shot. We saw two of them.
Yeah.
You know, it's that's a kid that I like. He led the NHL, led the OHL in points a couple years back. He's a very offensively gifted player.
Where was he playing in that game?
So he played on the wing of John Tavares and William Nylander.
All right.
So hear me out with this. And after watching last night's game, I've kind of started walking back this thought a little bit. And the reason is just because John Tavares seems to be kind of back on track here. Like he's got a couple goals last night. He grabbed, like when Morgan Riley and Morrissey were going at it, he grabbed Scheifele by the neck and ripped his head. Like, it was great. Like, I've never seen John Tavares with that much fire. And you know what I think it might be? Like, you got to remember, Corey Perry almost killed him.
Yeah.
Right? So last year wasn't John Tavares' best year, and he'll tell you that. But he seems like in tight, man. There's not many, like there's not two or three guys that are better in the league when it comes to being within like a 6-foot radius of the goaltender and having the puck on your stick, or even not on your stick. His ability to tip pucks, his ability to work the puck in tight is.
I was literally just thinking like, three names came to mind: Crosby, Pavelski, Perry.
Not Perry, Pavelski, yes, but John Tavares is in that. Like I'd say that's like, a top three, right there. Pavelski, Tavares, and Crosby in tight. Nobody better than those three guys.
No.
John Tavares was made the goalie scored last night on the assist from William Nylander. It was gross, disgusting to go over. And I want you to remember that's Hellebuck, man.
Yeah, that is like probably a top 5 goalie in the league.
Yeah, and he went tic-tac-toe off his own stick, right? Like that was beautiful. Beautiful.
We need to just pause here for a second talking about beautiful goals. Nick Suzuki's penalty shot.
Oh, baby. That was Datsukian. That's
like that is just outright.
I just want to make this clear. We agree. You don't do that if you're not up 4 goals, right? If it's a 1 or a 2 goal game, he's not making that play.
Yes and no. Yes and no. Because I think he has the confidence.
4-0 at that point, right?
3 or 4.
I think it was the goal to make it 5.
Okay.
That was Suzuki's to make it 5.
But either way, he has the confidence in his abilities to do that. So I just think if that was maybe a 1 or 2 goal game, he still might have done it. But definitely the fact that it was a 3 or 4 goal game.
That's one of those moves that you have in your back pocket for like late, like we're talking like 20th round in a shootout, like in things the game.
Merrick Malik tweener.
Yeah, like Merrick Malik tweener. Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. And then so like it's that or up 4 goals, getting a penalty shot, or like end of practice on Sam Montembeault. Like that's the kind of move that is. But like I think if it's a 2-goal game, he's just trying to rifle that top corner or something. I don't think he's trying to pull a Datsuk, man. Like that was disgusting.
That's an early goal of the year contender, easily.
No, because there was nobody else on the ice, but.
Oh no, like I think at the end of the year when you do like your top like 10, like TSN does like top 10 goals this season, I think there's a chance that one gets in there.
That's fair. It was that nice. It was that good. Anyway.
Anyways, sorry, back to the Winnipeg game and John Tavares.
Yeah. Well, actually back to the Dallas game. So yeah, that's kind of how we segued there because we were talking about the Nick Roberts and the fact that he's playing with John Tavares. And then I was going to talk about the line combinations that I was thinking, but I'm walking it back a little bit, but I still want to throw it out there into the metaverse here. So think about this line, first of all. How horrifying would this line be to play against? Austin Matthews centering Nick Robertson and William Nylander.
I don't like that. I don't like that at all. As a Habs fan, I do not like that.
And then you got John Tavares, who's playing at a very, very high level again.
Yeah. Playing
with Michael Bunting and 100-point NHL All-Star Mitch Marner, who was his winger when he scored 47 the first year as a Toronto Maple Leaf, sorry.
Yeah, I'd rather you guys not do that against us.
I would love to see that, but I don't want to change anything around Tavares right now.
Yeah, because it's clearly
I'd say he goes into some sort of slump. Those top 2 lines go into some sort of slump. That would be the change that I make, though. Because
is Matthews not in a bit of a slump right now?
Well, he had 3 points last night.
Oh, did he? Oh, shit. Okay, so the way Trev's talking about him in the group chat, like...
Yeah, no, he had 13 shot attempts and 3 assists last night.
Okay.
And then he had the assist on the overtime winner in the Robertson's overtime winner. He had the tip from Giordano was that against the Montreal? Was that Montreal or was that against? I think that was Ottawa.
Yeah, I don't think that was Montreal. No.
Yeah. So he's got 1 goal and at least 4 assists, maybe more, so far. So he's at least at a point a game, but he's not scoring. And the thing though is he's actually, according to JFresh, I was just looking on Twitter. According to JFresh, he's actually second last right now in the league on goals below expected. So he's actually, based on all his play in all situations, expected to have, I believe it was 2.2 more goals than he has right now.
Yeah.
So through 4 games.
Yeah,
right?
I know.
So the only guy who's got lower than that, Timo Meier in San Jose, is expected to have 2.8 more goals than he has at this point in the season. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
But just some other names on that list, just to give you an idea. Reinhart was there. Forget who else. There was a couple names there that were pretty, but the 3 big ones were Reinhart, Matthews, and Thomas Hertl. Jack Hughes, that was the other big name.
Oh, yeah.
So, and like I outlined last week, Austin Matthews is shooting at like 5% right now. His career average is like 15. So he's going to score. He's that good. He is maybe potentially dealing with something right now because Jamie Benn's a fucking dirty prick. And he cross-checked it. You know the spot between the shoulder pads and the pants?
That's my favorite spot to aim for.
Yeah, he got him like right on the left side. And even last night, Matthews was like grabbing at it a couple times, which is a little bit concerning. Because you like sit him for a couple periods or a couple games, man. And
I was just about to say, do you not just like maybe pull him out of the lineup as a precaution one night or what?
It's a nagging injury. We're 6 games in here, man. You don't want a nagging injury. Like that's the last thing that the Leafs need right now is 34 not being at 100% for the whole year. You know what I mean? So, especially the way Tavares is playing right now, let him fucking play on the top line. Let him do whatever the hell he wants right now. Tavares is playing great. He's playing with fire, tenacity, scoring goals. Looks like himself. It's great. Segue into the Winnipeg game. So, Winnipeg scores on their first real play in the game. So, it was kind of a odd man rush. And Samsonov makes a great, or I think it's, does he prefer Samsonov or it's Samsonov, right?
I have no idea his preferred pronunciation, no.
I believe he prefers Samsonov, so we're going to go with Samsonov until we hear anything different.
Okay.
Yeah, Samsonov makes a great save, and then rebound, kicks out. So those were the 1-2 shots on goal. The second one goes in.
Yeah.
So now it's 1-0 early, and that's, of course, the Leafs are used to dealing with that shit. We love that shit for some reason. Anyway, we go on. John Tavares gets a pass from William Nylander. Bing, 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 over Connor Hellebuck's glove hand. Goal, 1-1. Beautiful. Money. Going into the second, and obviously before this game started, I mentioned earlier in the show, Clifford and Simmons in, Obeku, Bell, and Engvall out. So a little bit more grit, you could say.
That's a lot more grit.
Yeah. There was a couple of scuffles. There was a couple of plays in front of the Leafs net where Samsonov made the save. He was rushed by a couple Jets and was cleared. They were cleared out sufficiently, which you don't see very often from the Toronto Maple Leafs. I'm going to be honest. You don't see that, but I think we know the way that the last game against Winnipeg went last year. And it's wild because it's obviously there was the Canadian division during COVID, but they're a Western Conference and an Eastern Conference team, so it's kind of wild to see the rivalry that's developing.
Oh, that was the nice thing about the Canadian division that season.
Yeah, is it created rivalries that otherwise wouldn't exist, and including this Leafs-Jets one. So anyway, it gets a little spicy. There's a couple kerfuffles, and then Josh Morrissey steps up, and in my opinion, it was interference because Robertson did not have the puck, but if he did, that was an absolutely money hit. Like, Morrissey decked Robertson, wasn't showing.
Like the hit itself was clean.
It's
just yeah.
So, but anyway, Morgan Riley skates across the ice, and Captain Morgan, yeah, I said it, Captain Morgan jumps Josh Morrissey, and honestly feeds him a couple of good shots. Like, I haven't seen that from Morgan Riley in his entire 10-year career with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Like, he fed Josh Morrissey. I was very, very pleased to see that. Also on that play, that's the play when Tavares showed a little bit of fire. He ripped Scheifele's head off. He had his gloves off. The linesman got in the way. TJ Brody had Mason Appleton locked up too. And then they pan to after they show Morgan Riley barking at Morrissey after absolutely jack-eyeing him. They pan to Wayne Simmons on the bench, and Wayne's going like, "Morgan? Like, is that you?" Like, what the hell was that, man? Like, it was wild. And that was with about 3 minutes left in the second period. I forget if the Sandin hit happened. I think
that was in the third.
I think that was in the third. On
that was not a great hit.
Not a great hit, but neither was the one on Marner. And Marner was a lot more damaged than Perfetti was. Marner got his face, like, same type of hit. I didn't see the
Marner hit.
Face right into the stanchion at the top of the boards, and he was bloody. Like, he was pretty bloody. And he was pissed. Like,
oh yeah,
that wasn't called either. So it goes both ways. And Dubois actually took the penalty for the extra because he jumped Sandin after. And who else but Austin Matthews comes in, grabs Dubois, who, by the way, I don't know if anybody remembers, they were drafted 1 and 3 in the year that Laine was drafted as well in 2016. So they're the same age, but Matthews comes up behind this horse, grabs him by the neck, and rips him away. Number 34 did that with a hurt back. I couldn't believe it. But you know what? He said he's made an effort this year to be more physical because I think he remembered he's like 6'3", 220, and I think he also realizes that if he's physical, everybody else is going to do the same thing. They'll follow.
Because 100%.
He's the leader of the team, right? When your leaders are doing things like that, when your leaders are playing the right way, you start playing the right way.
Well, you kind of have to at that point.
Exactly. You follow suit. So if you got Mitch Marner out there throwing, or not Mitch Marner, sorry, he does throw a few hits, but Austin Matthews out there throwing big hits, that's going to bode well for your team. It just is. So anyway, we get a power play. I believe it was on the power play from Dubois jumping Sandin. And we get a Matthews point shot that John Tavares, again, wizard in tight, tips in. Beautiful. John's second of the night, second power play goal of the night. And finished it off with a couple more scuffles, you could say, and Michael Bunting empty netter for the Trubin Missile Crisis. And that's how that game ended. It was beautiful. It was honestly, I said to everybody, you can ask my dad, you can ask my girlfriend, I said to everybody before this game, just based on the way it ended with them last year with the Winnipeg Jets, this is a big game when it comes to showing whether this team is a pretender or a contender, and they showed me all the right things last night. Everybody.
How was the goaltending in that game for you?
Samsonov was electric. Samsonov was great. 1 goal, I believe, on 31 shots. And he made some big saves, some tough saves, and even the ones that weren't tough, he was in the right place, which is something that we maybe haven't seen from guys like Peter Mrazek and Jack Campbell and Matt Murray. You know where the right place is? On the ice, and Matt Murray can't get there. So,
all right, so this is going to transition lovely into fill in the blanks. When Matt Murray returns, he's going to play blank games this season.
If you want the honest truth, the way Samsonov's playing right now, the age that Samsonov's not an old guy. He can play a lot of games. I think he plays the second half of back-to-backs for the rest of the year, and that's it.
So, that's what, 10, 15 games?
Maybe.
How many more years on his deal?
This year and next.
I mean, it's not great paying him whatever.
Expires, well, it's not. It's 75% of that, but expires just in time to give Matthews all that money.
Fair enough.
Also, I said this last night too. I'm making a prediction right now. Austin Matthews signs a contract. Book this, and we'll clip this too.
Oh, I will. Don't worry.
He signs a contract next summer at a $16.4 million AAV.
Jesus.
Yeah.
So you're going with the cap going up $4 million by next year, right? Or
not next year, the year after.
Yeah, the year after. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. And I think it's going to go up a lot more after that too.
Oh yeah. For sure, it's going to keep going.
Through let's say the 4th through 8th years of those deals, it's going to be a steal compared to what guys will be signing for at that point.
Yeah, probably.
That's where I'm at with it, and I'm honestly okay giving him 16. I'm okay giving him whatever the hell he wants, to be completely honest.
Honestly, that's the thing, Abe.
16.4.
Yeah.
Maybe 16.34 because they do that weird shit where they put their number in their AAV. I don't know why. It's weird. Take $60,000 less a year just so you can be a 34.
So last week we were talking about Ryan Reeves being one of the scariest guys in the NHL. So I'm going to ask you this now, or the fill in the blank is, I would rather fight blank than Arber Xhekaj. Because I would rather fight Ryan Reeves than Arber Xhekaj.
Yep, I'd rather fight Ryan Reeves than Arber Xhekaj. I would rather fight, shout out, Charles Oliveira.
Yeah.
Than Arber Xhekaj. But Charles Oliveira lost last night. I know we're steering off topic here, talking about our Bitter Rivals podcast bingo card here.
Yeah.
But, dude, Makachev, rolled Oliveira.
That's nuts.
And did you see
that was nuts?
Did you see that he paid $1 million for his training camp?
Look, you win, so fair. Money well spent.
On the broadcast, legit said, he has been in Abu Dhabi for months, this guy. He spent $1 million on this training camp. If he doesn't win, he never will. Because he'll never be more prepared than this. Ever. I think he was the most prepared out of any UFC fighter of all time yesterday, to be completely honest with you.
$100
million on training camp? Are you insane?
But he won, so there you go.
It's all worth it.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to hockey. I just needed to get that in there because I thought that was an outrageous number.
Yeah, a little bit.
All
right, so one more fun one here. So over the summer, the Leafs were talking about changing their goal song, and people were suggesting they play individual songs for every player. So my question to you, if you're in the NHL, what would your custom goal song be?
So I have a couple of answers here.
All right.
Number 1, Jukebox Hero. Unbelievable song.
Oh, I did not expect that from you. I love it.
Number 2, Eye of the Tiger.
Great one, yeah.
Another electric hockey song. So those are mine. What are yours?
So my first instinct was Monkey or Anything by the Foo Fighters, but I just want like the scream in the fucking like near the end. like anytime I score, I just want Dave Grohl just fucking screaming. I think that would be my first choice. And then my second choice would just be something like, just get me some Zeppelin going or some like fucking Black Sabbath, anything there. Just fucking like get the crowd fucking going.
Yeah. Yeah, get me some Foreigner, buddy.
That's not at all what I fully thought you were gonna be like Billy Talent, Green Day, like some like rap. I don't know. No. I like that.
Jukebox Heroes gotta be the one. It gotta be. It's a beautiful hockey song.
Hey. All right. And let's go around the league for this one. So the Colorado Avalanche will finish in blank place in the West. They're not struggling, but not firing on all cylinders.
Here's the thing, and I told you to add this one in, and it's because they just lost to Seattle, who I think we can all agree is not a very good hockey team, right?
No.
The Seattle Kraken, they might be good in a few years. They are not good right now. No. And yeah, but I didn't hear anything about it, right? And I hear everything about the Leafs losing to Arizona, though. And I got to thinking, oh yeah, Colorado won a Stanley Cup. So it doesn't matter. They can lose to whoever the hell they want. They can go 0-82 this year. It doesn't matter. They can play the season drunk. Doesn't matter. They won a Stanley Cup.
Yep.
Like, that's just how it is. That's how this league works. That's how North American sports work.
So I'll tell you this right now. So Italy hasn't qualified for the last 2 World Cups, and everyone like roasts me, which is great. But like, I've seen them win a World Cup. I've seen them win the European Championship.
Exactly. Who gives a fuck? Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
You got a point.
Like,
you have a point, man. And that's how we think. And it's different in Europe. You can agree. You're a Premier League. Winning the Prem means something.
Yeah.
Winning the President's Trophy doesn't mean shit, man. Like, it doesn't mean anything.
Literally could not mean less.
Colorado and their fans they're like, you know what? Who cares what happens? Scrape into the playoffs, and then let's see what happens.
Well, Tampa didn't even finish anywhere near the top of the league last year, didn't they?
Exactly. And they went right back to the Stanley Cup final for the 3rd year in a row. So, where do I think Colorado finishes this year? I don't think they finish too low, mainly because there's not that many good teams in the Western Conference, but I don't think they finish on top of the conference.
I still think they finish top 3, probably.
Top 3, but I would put them probably more likely to finish at 3 or 4 than 1 or 2, if that makes sense. I like Calgary.
Calgary for sure will be up there. Who else?
I like Calgary. I do like Minnesota.
Oh yeah.
I don't mind St. Louis, although I do have a couple of it. Like, I have Kyrou right now in fantasy, and he is just terrible. But
Dallas will be not up there, but they'll be.
Dallas is good, and
in that
part of that you can attest to the fact that part of that is the fact that they have a really good goaltender.
100%. Right?
I thought Vancouver was going to maybe have a chance out there on the West Coast with Demko, but oh my god, that is
that's not a Demko issue. That's the entire team is just fucking awful.
Dude, he sucks too right now. Like, he looks like shit. Like,
but like, man, like, please tell me you saw fucking JT Miller standing there in overtime doing nothing while the puck gets passed around him. Like,
yeah, and you got players calling your cell phone. Did you see that interview with JT Miller? Where he was like, he goes, I've been on the ice for every single goal scored against us this year. It's not a good feeling. Like, I've been on, like, I have a minus for every goal.
That's not good.
This guy just signed a $100 million contract almost, and he's the biggest liability on the team. Oh my god. I love the NHL for shit like that sometimes, man. This guy has a 100-point season last year, and next thing you know, he's just useless. Like, Roman Josi doesn't have a single point. My dad has him on his fantasy team. Roman Josi doesn't have a single point. He had 96 points last year.
Bro, it's like 4 or 5 games into the year. Let it fucking...
That's crazy though. How do you get back on that pace?
All it takes is like one fucking like 3 or 4 point game, and he's fucking
back. Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I guess. Anyway. Yeah, so back to the question at hand. I don't think Colorado's going to finish first, but I also think they're going to make the playoffs and give some hay in the playoffs. I think that's what they're built for.
I think they're, like I said, probably finishing top 3, top 4 in the conference and easily going conference final.
Yeah, the other thing that's important to note out of there is they're missing their captain for the first 3 or 4 months of the season. Landis had surgery, I believe. I forget what the surgery was, but he is out for 3 to 4 months.
So I want to say it was lower body, yeah.
I believe you're right, yes. And the other thing that's important to note out of there is they're currently working with Shesterkin's backup, right? Georgiev is not Kemper.
No.
So that'll be a little bit of a step back. They lost Burakovsky. They lost Obey-Kubel to us. He's not a big piece, but they lost a couple.
Kadri.
No, Kadri, that's the other one, yes. So Burakovsky, Kadri, they lost some big pieces, right? So it'll be interesting to see if they can recover from that. We've neglected to mention the reverse retro lineup. We got some heat. We got some absolute heat.
I genuinely hate saying this, but Tampa has the best one, and it's not close.
I disagree.
Bro, the Storm jerseys, they are a fucking work of art.
No, want to know the best ones? I gotta find a picture of them right now. The best ones, in my humble opinion, are the San Jose Golden Seals.
Okay, there are a couple of good ones, like really, really fucking good ones.
Honestly, Calgary's are dog water.
Yeah, it's not. They're fine.
Chicago's and Detroit's are dog water.
Florida's is nice. I got to give Florida their props there.
So here, I got all of them in front of me right now. So we'll just go through them quickly. Do you have all of them in front of you?
Yeah.
Okay. Florida, decent. Love the Habs with the Expos shout. Honestly, I hate to say it, but I love it. Detroit's god awful. Calgary's god awful. Edmonton's is sick because it's such a hated jersey that it's perfect. Winnipeg's I don't like. I like the ones that they wore last night against the Leafs better than that.
Yeah, Winnipeg is just meh.
Tampa's I'm not that big of a fan of, but they're cool.
Yeah.
You love Tampa's. The Leafs I'm a big fan of.
I just remember playing like NHL 06, I think it was, or 04 was one of like the first NHL games I bought, and they had that jersey in it, and I used it fucking all the time. It was sick.
Yeah, it is a pretty cool jersey. You're right. The Leafs one I like. It's plain and simple. It's classic. Ducks is sick. It's the duck jersey, but with the orange. Love the goat head buffalo one.
Love it.
The Bruins Pooh Bear. Hate the Bruins. Love the fucking Pooh Bear.
Yep.
Nashville, again, I
love
the fact that they took the worst jersey in their history and said, let's just make it a different.
I love that, though. It's so good.
I know. I love it, too. St. Louis's are not that, like, they don't speak to me.
Yeah, that's just meh. Arizona's is meh.
Arizona, honestly, just take it back to the university.
Ruthless.
Honestly, dude, like they're a joke. I don't even want to talk about them. Like they're such a joke. Pathetic. I can't wait till they play home games. Like I can't wait to see like the weird camera angle that they're gonna have because it's not an NHL arena. Like it's gonna be hilarious. I can't wait. Anyway, moving on. Minnesota's node to the North Stars. They did the same thing last year, so they lose points for that, but it's still a nice jersey. Dallas's, I think, stink.
I don't mind it.
Dallas's.
Yeah, it's very like 6 out of 10 for me. Like it's nowhere near the worst, but it's nowhere near the best. It's just there.
Yes, I see what you're saying. So Vancouver's.
Okay, so here's the thing. I had to figure out that was Vancouver's by process of elimination.
Yeah, okay,
that is not good.
So hear me out with the Seattle one. Obviously, they don't have anything to retro because they literally became a team last year. But that is a nod to the Seattle Metropolitans from the 1920s, and I appreciate it.
Yeah, I don't hate that. It's like like it's definitely like it's like you said, the Dallas one's like meh. Like it's definitely better than the Dallas one for sure.
Well, because they had nothing to work with, I appreciate the fact that they actually did find a way to find something retro to do with the city of Seattle. It was a different color scheme. I believe it was burgundy and like a cream color was the Seattle Metropolitans colors, but that's the jersey style that they use, so I appreciate the nod. So my favorite one is the San Jose Sharks.
Gross jersey. Gross.
I might buy one.
Do it.
It reminds me of like the Flint Tropics.
I see it, yeah, 100%.
I love it. Like, I think they killed it. I really do think they killed it.
Yeah.
That's the best one. Carolina literally just made their home jersey red.
Yeah, so, it's terrible. The next three are terrible.
I hate to be that guy, but you have the whole Hartford Whalers catalog to deal with, and you come up with this.
Oh no, just that they also had some like nice jerseys in like the mid 2000s that they could throw back to as well.
Yeah, and like what is this garbage? It's awful. We can agree that that's awful, right? Like you 100%. Have so much great stuff to work with, so many great designs, great colors, and you come up with this.
Like imagine the Leafs did their reverse retro jerseys, and instead of like using any of their history, you just put Leafs diagonally across a jersey.
That's what I mean. It's pathetic. That's Colorado ones are okay.
I don't like them.
They're okay. I like how they use the like 90s jersey style.
Yeah, I will give them that.
And then they just threw the Colorado state colors on there. I think they could have done better. They also have the Nordique stuff to work with, so they could have done way better. Chicago's is shit. I'm not talking about it.
Yeah.
Washington's
Screaming Eagle.
Very good.
So good. So good. I cannot wait to see Ovi rock that again.
Big points. I know.
Like that's gonna be fucking sick.
Love the Statue of Liberty head on the but I hate that blue with that logo. I think they needed to stick to the dark blue or find a way to make it white and then dark blue on the arms.
I'll give you that. Yeah.
I don't like that.
It's still a nice jersey though. I'll still give it.
Yeah. It's big Merrick Malik vibes. Second shout out.
100%.
Second shout out of the show for Merrick Malik. Columbus, they don't have a lot to work with. I think they did good with what they had.
Yeah.
I love the Ottawa ones because I love those jerseys with those numbers, like the style on the numbers. I love that from the mid 2000s. That's big heater vibe.
I like that, and I like the logo.
Yeah, which is the logo they've come back to anyway, which is nice to see. The Vegas ones honestly are god awful. I hate them. They glow.
They have nothing to fucking throw back to. So
yeah, but
like literally nothing.
Seattle found a way. The Robo Penguin Pittsburgh ones are sick.
Love it.
Wish there would have been more orange on the Philadelphia ones.
Yeah, could have.
Kings ones are sick.
Yep.
Love the jersey ones with the Scott Stevens style and the Kansas City Scouts colors. Beautiful. Love it. And the Islander.
The Fisherman. I love it so much. Like
they actually, I really think they did a good job this year. I'm happy with most of them.
100%.
More than I was last year. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, okay. I think last year there was like 3 or 4 like elite level ones, and then the rest were just kind of shit. Yeah. This year there's a lot more like good and elite ones.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
There's less like Dallas Stars ones. Like the Dallas one is just kind of, there's only a couple that are like that, and then there's either dog shit ones or the rest are good.
Yeah. So I think we spent enough time on this, but I'm just gonna give a top 3 here. My top 3 is 1, San Jose. I might have to go 2, Anaheim. 3, Nashville.
So I'm going to go Tampa at 1, Islanders 2, Capitals 3.
Okay, they end all great.
Oh yeah, it's like there's no wrong answer in there.
No wrong answer here. No. All right. Anyway, we spent enough time on that. We're about 50 minutes in. Is there anything else you'd like to get off your chest before we call today a wrap?
Just double checking the fantasy league. I think there are games tonight, right?
We have, I believe there's 5 games on the schedule, if I'm not mistaken.
All right.
Let me double check. Want to know what I actually use to see what games are when? In the morning when I do my Tim Hortons picks. I want money, Timmy. So
I said we're not getting paid for that plug, so Stop plugging it.
So today we have Kraken Blackhawks, Jackets Rangers, Ducks Wings, Islanders Panthers, Sharks Flyers.
Couple interesting matchups in there.
Yeah, Islanders Panthers is an interesting one. Very interested in that. And I have a couple players. I believe I have Mika Zibanejad and Keandre Miller both playing in the Rangers Columbus game, which is good.
I have literally no players playing tonight, so I hope Trevor does not get 160 odd points and beat me.
Probably won't. I'm gonna guess he's not going to on a Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, I hope not. It looks like, ooh, you're in a tight fucking game.
I am. The projections are 314 to 314 with
that is
with SSM Little Caesars.
Oh yeah. All right, I think that is everything.
Okay, so here let's just go over the matchups here. What do we got? Show league matchups. So right now, yeah, I'm in a tight one with SSM Little Caesars expert team. We got Boats and Hosas absolutely destroying North Korea.
Sorry, Trev.
Jaeger Bombs is slaughtering Patty Kane's cab company.
Yep.
Leafs and Bounds looks like they're going to take a dub from the old Fox. And, I'm so proud of her. No Regretskis. Going for her.
Oh, is Mick going 2-0?
Mick might be going 2-0 here. No Regretskis looks like they're going to take the cake on Williams' tip-top team.
Jeez. I'm worried that she's going to go fucking
She's going to win
undefeated.
the league, and then we're going to have to give her merch.
I'm going to be pissed if she wins our league.
I know.
Sorry, Mick.
Ridiculous. Anyway, I think that's all we got cooking for this week. We, as always, appreciate everybody for listening, wherever you're listening, whether it be Spotify, Apple Music, wherever the hell else you get your podcast.
YouTube as well.
Watch. Oh, I'm going there. Don't worry, I'm going there. Or if you're watching on YouTube, see, I was talking about listening. Now I'm talking about watching. Or if you're watching on YouTube or on the Game Entertainment and Media. Those are a couple options. If you are listening and you want to watch, go check them out. Bitter Rivals Podcast on YouTube. You'll find us. I'm sure you'll have no issues. Yeah, and thanks for listening. Thanks to the Game Entertainment and Media for hosting us on their platform. And have a happy Sunday, everybody. Have a great time watching some hockey games, maybe some football, whatever you're into. See you later. We'll talk to you next week for episode 69, baby.
Hey, nice.